The Wonderful Daily Life of Cotai Office. Chapter 1: The Smile of the Gold Coin. In a town kissed by the morning light, the aroma of coffee on both sides of the street and the ink fragrance of bookstores are intertwined, and a golden soft light seems to float in the air. Everyone in the town knows that in the small building with a copper roof in the center of the town, there lives a wonderful girl. Her name is Yuejin. Yuejin was not originally human. She is the genie of countless ancient coins, sparkling, cold but warm. Every coin is a fragment of her, and when people place their faith and hope in her, she coalesces in the flashes. As a result, she had her first complete incarnation in the world, long silver white hair, a smile like the morning light falling on the lake, and her eyes flashed with a coin-like brilliance. People love her because she can transform the power of money into warmth and miracles. Whoever comes to her small office, whether it is a lost businessman, a lost painter, or even a teenager who has just encountered a breakup, will leave with a little light. It is an indescribable peace of mind. Chapter 2: The First Day of the Office. Yuejin named her office Jingguang Office, with golden wind chimes hanging at the door, making a crisp sound when the wind blows. The first visitor was a flower shop owner in the town named Zai Chen. He was holding a pot of lilies that were about to wither, and his voice was low. "I don't know what to do, my store's business is getting worse and worse." Yuejin smiled, stretched out her finger and gently tapped the lily, and in an instant, the petals began to shine with a shimmering light, like silver threads soaked in morning dew. "Believe in yourself, your flowers are not just sold to others, they will convey your feelings," she said. Zai Chen looked at it in surprise, and the entire flower shop seemed to light up. The next day, many strange customers appeared in front of his store. Everyone was attracted by the fragrance of flowers and moved by his renewed confidence. This is just the first miracle of Cotai Office. Chapter 3: The Bizarre Visitor. However, the real wonder has only just begun. One day, a man in a dark purple robe steps into the office. His name is Lu Lan. Lu Lan is not an ordinary person. He claims to be a collector of time who can see fragments of people's past and future. The problems he brings are far more complex than those of the flower shop owner. "I want to change a mistake that has already happened," Lu Lan said. His voice was low but echoing, as if it came from a long distance. Yuejin smiled slightly, her fingers waving gently in the air, and a shiny coin slowly emerged, spinning and emitting light. "Some mistakes are not to be changed, but to be understood. Will you see the other side of it with me?" Lu Lan nodded. In an instant, the walls of the office disappear, replaced by a maze of light and shadow intertwined with his past mistakes and possible future outcomes. Every ray of light is like a fine silk thread, connecting the deep regret and hope of people's hearts. Yuejin took him through it, and every time he stopped, Lu Lan could see how his choices affected others, and the burden in his heart gradually dissipated. Chapter 4: The Return of Believers. Yuejin's office is not only a place to help people, but also a space where faith and reward intersect. Everyone who is helped by her will unconsciously pass on this light in their lives. Once, a girl named Han Yu came to the office, holding an old ticket in her hand. "I hope to get back the dream I have forgotten." Yuejin nodded and blew softly. A sea of golden light appeared in front of the girl's eyes, and each beam of light was her childhood memory. Han Yu smiled with tears in her eyes, feeling her long-lost enthusiasm and courage. When she left the office, she inadvertently helped a lost traveler find his way home, and the traveler helped another person in need at the next stop. The cycle of faith. Miracles are like coins flipping in the air, scattering light and hope. Chapter 5: Challenges and Shadows. But happiness is never always peaceful. One night, an expressionless young man appeared at the door of the office. His name was Ying Yan. He held a black coin in his hand, which seemed to be engraved with symbols that Yuejin had never seen before. The appearance of the shadow flame made the light in the office flicker and darken, as if night had suddenly fallen. "I want your power," Shadow Flame said coldly, his voice penetrating into the bone marrow like ice water. Yuejin felt a wave of uneasiness that he had never felt before. She understood that this was a test and a challenge to her faith. The nature of the coin elf tells her that she can easily subdue the shadow flame, but she chooses to believe that even darkness can be an ununderstood light. After a night of confrontation, Yuejin finally introduced the shadow flame into the labyrinth of light and shadow, and he had to face the loneliness and fear in his heart. When dawn breaks, the black coins of the shadow flame crack open, turning into countless small dots of light that merge into the ocean of light in the office. Chapter 6: The Continuation of Light and Dreams. As time passed, Cotai Office's reputation became more and more widespread, and it even attracted travelers and strange people from far away. Some people say that the door of the office will only open in front of those who are destined, and those who enter, no matter how confused, will find the answer here. Yuejin stood by the window, watching the golden sunlight shine down. She smiled. Every point of light is the person she has helped, and every smile is a return to her faith. She understood that although she was once just a cold and hard coin elf, now, her life is full of warmth because of trust and love. And those bizarre, wonderful, and incomprehensible events are still quietly happening in the office. Someone meets a talking flower, someone dreams of soaring in the sky, and someone sees a fragment of the future. Yuejin always smiles quietly, because she knows that every miracle is an interweaving of faith and heart. The Jingguang office is still flashing in the morning light, waiting for the next destined person. Chapter 7 Lost in the Mirror. On a rainy afternoon, a traveler named Jinyu came to the Cotai office. She was holding an ancient bronze mirror in her hand, covered with a thin mist. There was a sense of unease in Jinyu's eyes. I see myself in the mirror, but she seems to be calling for me. Yuejin reached out and touched the mirror, and suddenly, the mist rotated into countless small silver coin-like spots of light, blurring the boundary between Jinyu and the mirror. Jinyu is sucked into the world of mirrors, an upside-down city with streets floating in the air and pedestrians stepping on the sky above their heads, reflecting rivers and pavilions in the sky. This is your inner projection, and every choice will turn into another possibility in the mirror. Yuejin said softly. Jinyu travels through the labyrinthine streets, encountering various versions of herself, a brave self, a cowardly self, and even a complete stranger self. Every conversation is an explanation and reflection on past decisions. Just when she thought she was lost, Yuejin threw a silver coin from the air. The coin passed through the light and shadow, and fell to the ground with a bang, turning into a light bridge leading to the exit. Jinyu stepped on the bridge of light and finally returned to reality. Her eyes flashed with determination. I understand, I want to face my choice bravely. Chapter 8 Silent Movement. One night, a silent man appeared at the door of the office. His name was Ye Hang. The night voyage brought a peculiar request. I can hear the sound of the world, but I can't hear the melody of my own heart. I hope you help me find it. Yuejin smiled, reached out to touch his chest, and a slightly glowing coin jumped into his heart. Suddenly, countless floating notes appeared in front of his eyes, dancing like silver butterflies. Every forgotten dream, every buried emotion flickers between the notes. The night voyage began to play, and an unprecedented melody flowed from the fingertips and filled the entire office. Everyone who hears the melody has a different light and shadow in their hearts. Some people recall childhood laughter, some think of deceased friends, and some feel the warmth of love. The office was once again filled with a symphony of light and emotion, and Yuejin stood quietly beside her, smiling with warm light. Chapter 9 The Prisoner of Time. As the agency's reputation spreads, a mysterious woman who calls herself the Guardian of Time and Space appears, named Ni Ling. Ni Ling brought a warning. There is a time prisoner who is trying to use the power of the Cotai agency's faith to change the past, and if not stopped, the entire town and even the world may fall into chaos. Yuejin decided to cooperate with Ni Ling, and they tracked down an abandoned clock tower. In the bell tower, time is twisted like water, and the past, present, and future are intertwined. The prisoner's name is Su Mo, and he tries to reverse the tragedy of his youth, but he does not know that this will cause the fate of countless people. Together, Yuejin and Ni Ling weave a bridge of time with the light of the coin elf and the power of faith, integrating Su Mo's past, present, and future, allowing him to face tragedy without disrupting the world order. Su Mo finally understood that time is not an enemy, but a mirror that reflects the weight of courage and choice. Chapter 10 The Return of the Shadow Flame. Just when everything seemed calm, Shadow Flame reappeared, but this time he was no longer the lonely boy he used to be. His black coin fragments turned into points of light, blending into the sea of light of the office, but bringing a strange vibration. I want to understand light and darkness more deeply. Shadow Flame said, his eyes were no longer just cold, but full of questions and expectations. Yuejin stretched out his hand and let him touch a flashing gold coin, which instantly turned into countless shimmering lights, reflecting the fear and hope hidden in Shadow Flame's heart. After several days together, Shadow Flame learns to transform the darkness within him into strength, and he begins to help those who are lost in the shadows. The light of the firm comes not only from Tsukaijin, but also from everyone who has been helped and those who are willing to turn trust into kindness. Chapter 11 Dreams are intertwined. Cotai is no longer just a town miracle but a hub connecting reality and dreams. Every night, some destined people will enter the office in their dreams and encounter the wonders of light and shadow, floating pavilions, talking silver coins, and clocks flashing with memories. Yuejin gradually understood that her mission is not only to help individuals, but also to protect the balance between dreams and reality. She has designed countless labyrinths of light and shadow to allow lost people to find themselves, and also to turn faith into power to flow into every corner of the world. One day, Jinyu, Ye Hang, Su Mo, Ying Yan and others gathered in the office, each with new miracles and stories. Under the guidance of Yuejin, they jointly created a feast of light and dreams, making the town shine with unprecedented brilliance between the morning light and the night shadow. Chapter 12 The Invisible City. One evening, a traveler named Xing Yang came to the Cotai office. He carried a translucent map marked with an invisible city, a city that is said to exist between reality and dreams, and can only be seen by a few destined people. I want to find the entrance to the city, but I'm afraid of getting lost in it. Xin Yang said in a low voice. Yuejin smiled slightly and put the coin in his palm. The coin shimmered and turned into a light gate leading to the invisible city. In the city, the streets flow like water waves, and the buildings float like clouds, and every step may lead to a different time and space. Star Yang wanders in light and shadow, encountering all kinds of strange inhabitants. There are stone statues that can sing poetry, there are girls who can weave clothes with light and shadow, and an old man who always wears a mask. He seems to be able to see the deepest fears in Xinjiang's heart. Yuejin waited outside the light gate, and she guided Xin Yang and taught him how to use faith to stabilize his direction. Eventually, Xin Yang found the core of the city, a clock tower composed of countless points of light, the bells of which sounded like a heartbeat, reminding him that every choice he made was weaving reality and dreams. Chapter 13 The Phantom Festival. Soon, the office ushered in the annual Fantasy Festival. The main characters of the festival are strange people from all over the world, whose desires and abilities intertwine in the light and shadow of the office, creating a scene that has never been seen before. A girl named Fei Yu brought a talking ribbon that could tell people secret wishes, a pair of twin brothers, named Li Han and Hokan, whose shadows can walk freely to help people find lost memories. Yuejin led all the destined people to weave a grand ceremony of light with the light of coins. The silver coin flips in the air, turning into a bridge of streamers, connecting everyone's wishes and dreams. Everyone's laughter, tears, and memories seem to be collected and turned into the eternal brilliance of the firm. Chapter 14 The Crack of Destiny. However, just as the festival was at its climax, a shadow suddenly pierced the bridge of light. Shadow Flame felt a familiar chill, which was his own from another timeline. Shadow Flame. He was born from another possibility, armed with the power of destruction, who wanted to take away the source of light. Yujin and Shadow Flame, Su Mo and Ni Ling face each other side by side. Light and shadow intertwined, and time vibrated like water waves. With each collision, the space of the office is stretched and distorted, and the labyrinth of light and shadow expands into the endless sky. Yuejin knows that strength alone cannot win, and she calls on all believers to believe in their faith whether far away or in dreams. Those who have been helped by her pray silently in their hearts. Faith turned into light, instantly enveloping the shadow flames, and he gradually dissipated in the light, returning to his own balance. Chapter 15 The Eternity of Light. At dawn, the office returned to calm. The golden light fell on the streets again, and the townspeople seemed to have never experienced the storm, but there was a glimmer of light in everyone's eyes. Yuejin stood by the office window, watching the morning light penetrate the clouds. She understood that this miracle did not belong to her alone, but was the crystallization of all her beliefs. Jinyu, Ye Hang, Su Mo, Ying Yan, Xin Yang and others surrounded her, each with stories and light points, and their smiles reflected on the wall of the office. This is just the beginning. Yuejin whispered, her eyes shining like gold coins. She knows that there are still countless adventures waiting for her in the future, but no matter how fantastic or bizarre they are, her faith and heart will make the miracle last forever. Postscript The Eternal Legend of Cotai Office. The story of Cotai eventually became a legend in the town. Some people say that Yuejin is still smiling in the office, waiting for everyone who is destined. Some people say that at night, golden light shines through the windows, reflecting the miracles of the past. Some people dream of soaring in light and shadow, as if participating in a grand ceremony that never ends. The miracle of the coin elf transforming into a human form not only changes the fate of the individual, but also connects the entire town with the dream. Every smile and every help is like a silver coin flipped, scattering light and illuminating the hearts of others. And Yuejin, she is still standing behind that door, the golden light flashing, guarding the junction between reality and dreams, allowing miracles to happen quietly in every ordinary day.